We are here for the quarterfinal of the 2026 AFC Women's Under 20 Asian Cup. It's a pretty mild atmosphere out here so far. The DPRK is scheduled to take on Australia in about an hour's time. I don't know if they've let people in yet, but there really are not that many fans here. Australia is probably the toughest first round matchup that the DPRK could have drawn, and what's even more remarkable about it is that this is an all or nothing match. If you win this match, you get to go to the Under 20 World Cup later this year, and if you lose, you're out. So the DPRK is in an absolute must-win situation, not only to advance to the quarterfinal, but to keep their World Cup hopes alive. Australia is a formidable opponent, more so than the other second place teams that could have taken that spot. So it should be a very exciting matchup today. Before I get to the matchup though, I will throw it to a couple of food reviews that I have shot just so I can give you an idea of how food in the surrounding area of Bangkok is, kind of give you a little flavor of the local on the scene. So I'm out here reviewing this Thai street food. It's got like pork and ground beef in it, but it's like in a pancake like crepe. I'm excited to see what it's like. That's pretty hearty. It's like this pancake outside, you know, with like a hearty inside. It almost feels breakfasty. But you know, that reminds me of a similar Chinese street snack, which the name I cannot remember right now, but it's a little bit, I like the Chinese style one better. In any case, this one's pretty good. Hard recommend. It was only like $1. After a long day of tourist traps, I'm back in the local neighborhood and I'm trying a restaurant called Baan Ice. It's a Thai-style restaurant, and I ordered some fried rice, which has mackerel in it with it, supposedly, but I see like a pork sausage that came with it. I'm really confused, but yeah, it tastes like sweet sausage to me. So basically, you've got a lot of ingredients on the side, which you can kind of mix in with the rice as you wish, which creates a nice variety of flavors. It reminds me of the fried rice at the Landmark Hotel in Laos. Also comes with a fruit punch. It's a really thick, deep, sugary flavor. Overall, this meal is pretty solid. I give it like a 7.5. I like how it's something new. It's a little bit too, I don't know, crisp, fresh for my taste overall, but I'm a pretty big fan. Would definitely recommend stopping by Baan Ice. There's way more than fried rice. It was just what they told me to get because it seemed like it was more of a family style serving thing. So yeah. So the past couple of days here in Bangkok have really just been me kind of exploring the surroundings, seeing what kind of museums they have, seeing what life is like out on the streets, but also just quite a bit of relaxing because it's been a hard travel schedule for me. So it's been a very fun trip. Anyway, we are back here at Pathum Thani Stadium. One thing I will say is that this feels, you know, very empty. I mean, it's like a show that's being put on for nobody. I mean, you know, it's mostly, you know, for qualifications and for being broadcast to other places, but it's still just kind of wild how few people are out here right now. And you know, they've got this woman announcing to an empty stadium, "Let's enjoy the football." It's a little bit just kind of a strange atmosphere, if you will. And they were actually kind of shocked that I was buying a ticket. I held off on buying a ticket because the online ticketing system didn't make it clear which side ticket you were buying. So I just decided, well, just wait until match day. And then, you know, I get a nice souvenir because I get to keep the stub of my ticket, whereas if I bought it online, I wouldn't get to do that. Yeah, I mean, other than that, the match should be starting in about an hour. I know that they sell like soda, beer, and water, just kind of for a basic price outside the stadium, but that's about it in terms of concessions. But you know, it's a really hot day. I mean, it's like 37 degrees, so they're probably going to have to be taking cooling breaks, and it will be another just hot matchup. So thank goodness I got a seat upgrade. I'm so thankful to the organizing committee or the ushers or whoever just said, like, hey, don't sit at that hot side of the other stadium where the sun is going to burn you to a crisp. Come on over to the other side of the stadium where we've got a roof and it's cool. And what's cool about being over here on the other side of the stadium is that I'm near where the DPRK delegation are going to sit. So I mean, that's cool. Less time on camera maybe because I think the cameras are coming from this direction, but you know what? It's still super cool to be sitting in the cool and not getting second-degree sunburns like last time in Sydney because I actually forgot my sunscreen again this time. So Anyway, kickoff's about half an hour away, and I look forward to it. So that was actually somewhat of a rough first half physically. You could really feel how both of the teams really didn't like each other. There was an somewhat serious injury on the Australian side, pausing play for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Other than that, there was a lot of foul play, a lot of shouting at each other, a lot of disagreements over where the ball should be set, whose ball it was. It was kind of one of those halves. You really kind of feel a little bit of that aggression from Australia to the DPRK when you do see matches like this. So the DPRK are up 1-0. They scored about 10 minutes into the first half, and it really seemed like we would command the game from that point on, but Australia really is kind of being a little bit slow with their motions, a little bit slow with the ball, so we didn't get as many attacks on goal as we probably would have normally. But anyway, there's about the standard about 10 to 15 people here from the embassy. The gentleman from the Chongmyeon is back from the initial game, and then there are a few local Thai fans as well as some Australian fans who may or may not be with the official delegation, but in any case, well less than 100 spectators here. Right now there are people on the field inspecting it for quality. I've never seen that before. That's cool. This definitely was a match that required a little bit of a cooling break, simply because it's very hot outside. Not much more here to report. It's just very entertaining because the men on the DPRK side, the one gentleman from the Chongmyeon, he is making a lot of comments as if he was the coach. And then there are several other men from the embassy who speak in a little bit of a little bit more of an aggressive tone when they're speaking to the team. So, and you can see a real difference when the DPRK is out there. They're doing constant drills. They're constantly being instructed. There's always a purpose to their movement. Whereas when the Australian team was lining up, it seemed like it was a little bit more lackadaisical, a little bit more of a free-for-all, and that just kind of embodies the huge difference in philosophy between the two teams. But yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if we lost this game. Australia's barely had a chance to shoot, but I do think that you really would hope for more because, Japan beat them by 5-0. So you hope we can do a little bit better. But in any case, as long as we secure a win here, we're golden. So hoping for that, and I will see you at the end of the second half. So it turned out to be a stellar win for DPR Korea against the Tillies of Australia. It was about 3-0. DPRK, basically, they eventually ground out another normal goal, and then when Australia got a little bit desperate, they took advantage of the goalie coming out and got an easy third goal into the net, and after that, it was all she wrote. This was one of the roughest games I've ever seen called. There was so much complaining about calls on both sides. There were a few players on both sides being really rough with each other. What I noticed is that the Australian players would be more outwardly rough. They'd get out there and then just shove and push. Whereas the DPRK players, if they were shoved, they'd say oh, all right. And then they'd be walking back the other way, and then they'd just kind of kick him in the shin or shove him in the back. It's amazing what you can see when you are so close to the action. The environment was absolutely fantastic. I loved sitting near the old Chongmyeon fan, as well as the delegation of people going there. And I believe there was actually someone else there who was from ROK who did not want to be seen at the match. So basically, it's all very hush-hush if you're cheering for the DPRK and you have associations in the ROK. There were a lot of penalty kicks. There were a lot of corner kicks. They got the ball in the right spots. Sometimes they would make a mistake or two, but really, and you felt that the other team was physically stronger. But at the end of the day, the superior organization, the superior focus, the lack of mental mistakes that what you saw from the DPRK today is really kind of emblematic of their organization. It's looking like in the next round, the DPRK will have to face the ROK again, as in all likelihood, their opponent in the semifinal will be ROK, so it will be another inter-Korean clash. But given how badly they thrashed ROK in the last match, I don't anticipate a huge amount of problems for the DPRK team. And it was also interesting to just hear the players talk to each other, hear the coaches talk to the players. It was really a rare experience to hear DPRK style football as it's spoken. I noticed that the main cheers coming from the DPRK section seem to be Joseon 잘한다, Joseon 이겨라, and Joseon 힘내라. Korea, you're doing well. Korea win. Joseon 승리, also Korea win. Have strength, Joseon, kind of an encouragement. There doesn't seem to be kind of any uniformity, but generally chants like that have been popular amongst all the DPRK crowds that I've witnessed. Okay, so the craziest thing just happened. As I was waiting for the bus, one of the players actually came out to say hi to me. She came with a translator, and they initially started talking in English, but then I was able to talk to her in Korean, and it was a fantastic moment because she came out of her own accord with the translator, and I've never seen them be just that outward before. It's interesting how once you earn a little bit of trust, they're willing to meet you. We didn't get to exchange very many words. I mean, I just gave her some words of encouragement, and that was it. They all just thanked me for coming. Some of the coaches thanked me for coming. Some of the people from the embassy, all of the players, waved to me on the exit. So anyway, I'm gonna head back to the lodging, and that'll be it for this vlog. So 안녕히 계십시오. 여기는 방코크입니다.